I like not having any kind of script. I like just kind of winging it sometimes.
Dude, I love
That's my thing. So you're gonna be like a fist distance away. That's
all right,
just
got it.
It's the best way to do it. Okay.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, man. But that's how I do it. I like to do no script and just talk to people, because at the end of the day, sometimes it's better just to talk to somebody and not have kind of set. Now, I'll take it back. There are times when I do sit down with my best friend Tyler. Him and I go UFC or MMA shit, and him and I will have like this preordained. Oh no, for sure, because that's just kind of how we are. We're balls deep in that shit.
Yeah. Oh, did you watch the last one?
I did.
That guy's face. I mean, he didn't tap out, but his face was just beaten. I mean, it just lumped up. I don't even know his name. I'm not like a big UFC guy to like remember names. Mm-hmm. But that guy's face was just.
Which one? The recent one?
Yes.
Oh my god, this is gonna sound pathetic because I'm a huge fan. I was just watching that shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was on pay-per-view and.
Oh my god. It was the Colby Covington fight. Was it the Colby Covington? Yeah. Okay, that was
the two friends fought each other. That was like
the
main
was
event.
that the fight? Was the fight previous to that?
Yes.
Oh my god, dude, this is how sad and pathetic I am sometimes. I sat down. I actually ordered that fight at my friend's house. I got off work late and just got there for the main event.
It's I find it hard to remember UFC fighters' names.
Oh really? Well, no, I just
because they're not as big as football or basketball.
It's true.
Like they don't have the promotions like football and basketball do.
Well, look at the backing. I mean, think about it. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's go back 10 years. Okay. Where was MMA 10 years ago?
Oh, I mean, the only guy I could think of 10 years ago is
Brock Lesnar.
That wasn't
not even. That's further back.
I mean,
who can you think of?
Iceman.
There you go, Chuck Liddell. That's a little further, but I would say GSP.
Ooh, yeah.
Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
I'd say a lot of those guys were the cream of the crop, you know?
Yeah.
Now we're into a new period where you have Dustin Poirier's and you have Habib Nurmagomedov, who's retired now. You know, Conor McGregor was just starting.
Well, I think Ronda Rousey kind of
oh man, but she
amped it up.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow. And then she lost her fight, but then Conor McGregor stepped in. And you're like, he just boom. And then it elevated to a new point when Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor fought. And then when they did round 2, it was even better.
Yeah. Well, no, the biggest thing before that was even before that fight, because he was slotted to fight RDA. And RDA backed out. He got injured, you know, and Conor was talking shit. And they called Nate. Nate was on a fucking boat drinking tequila, getting fucked up.
Yeah, he was like,
and
all right.
Sign me up, you know, and fucking shows up and just handles business, bro. And it was like that famous Joe Rogan thing. Dude, you just shook up the world, bro.
Oh, yeah.
What's it feel like? He's like, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, that guy was just insane.
I mean, he's always been, in my opinion, Nate has always been, and the Diaz brothers for the most part, have always been great fighters. Now the only thing is though, they're more punches and bunches. They're volume fighters. They're not knockout artists. You know, I mean, do they have knockouts?
They're all stamina.
Yes. They're right. They're all endurance. They're marathoners. Dude, they're running fucking 20, 30 miles a day. They were just at that level. Now, but their jiu-jitsu being under Gracie, man, is so good. Like they were the epitome of that. I mean, their ground skills, people would go to train with them for specific reasons. Rousey trained with them, you know, there's a lot of people in the game that still work, that do work with them. Now, the only thing is about Nate, though, is once he hit that once he got fucking famous from fighting Conor McGregor, which is how he got famous. That's just the truth.
It's skyrocketed.
Yeah, he went from this to this, and now he's got apparel and all this other shit.
Oh yeah,
he's got all this stuff just because of him. And I love how Conor he's like, I gave you your fucking your golden ticket. You're welcome.
But it makes you think instead of Nate Diaz fighting him, what would have happened if Nick Diaz fought him?
True.
I think that would have been a whole different story.
I think honestly, if you were to
Nick
put
Diaz to me is just a different beast.
Right, but Nick isn't in it. And it showed.
He's been suspended for that.
I know, but Nick's not. But Nick wasn't in it. Nick was out of it. He was. I don't say he was trying to get out of it, but I think that Robbie Lawler fight we saw him come back is when you really got to see he wasn't in it. I feel like people were whispering in his ear a bit, hey man, you still got what it takes. You can make a ton of money. Let's go for it. And it showed because he came into the weigh-in just looking flabby and not in shape like he normally is because he's usually shredded. Those guys are all usually.
I feel
lean.
like he lost the spark.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think he lost the spark. It was Like, fuck, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
Around like the second round, you could just see it. He's just like, I want to go home. I'm tired.
Bro, that's exactly
a fight
what it
like
was.
that though I couldn't do that. I couldn't get in a ring like that and just be like, oh yeah, let's go. 30 seconds in.
I mean,
I'd be
it's
like,
a whole process. You got to think about this though. Like a lot of the fighters that I watched so many things about explanations. I watch a lot of JRE. He has a lot of his MMA talks where he has fighters on who discuss like what it's like. Man, it's fucking nerve wracking. There's things that go into it. It's a lifestyle. You like live a certain lifestyle, and for some of these guys, like it's all they know sometimes. So for them to come out of that and be like fucking, or I'm done with it and figure something out is a good thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you always feel like there's a next fight or there's another fight in you. Like you want to go to that. You're like, oh, I could go back. You know, it's like John, what's his name? Old school fighter, John. Oh my God, I want to say
you're asking the wrong
guy.
guy.
Very old school. He used to fight in fucking Pride. I forgot his name already. I'm gonna look it up though. He was on the JRE and he was talking to him, Don Fry.
Okay.
Don Fry. So Don Fry is on he's on him talking to him and he's like, oh, this Francis, you know, this guy's an old man. He's like talking about Francis Ngannou. He's like, oh man, I want to get in the ring with that motherfucker. I want to fight him. And like Joe's like, dude, you're like, 60 something years old. He's like, I don't give a fuck. And Joe's like, dude, you're Don Fry, bro. You're the shit. Like this. That's why you are who you are. You're like, you're not scared. Like you still think in the mind that I can fucking do this. But there's always a point in every career for a fighter, so to speak. And this is just me from, looking it up and hearing people talk about it. Is like you get to a point where you either are at your climax or your pinnacle or your prime, and then you kind of taper off. Okay, and it happens rather fast because you see a lot of Anderson Silva. What happened? Leg broke, entire career changed.
But he was a beast.
Yeah,
he was
unstoppable.
No one thought that leg would break. I mean, it was just a freak accident, and when it broke, it was like,
yeah. Oh no, there was. Oh dude, I remember watching it when it broke. There was like instant memes. People were already posting shit.
Remember he like stepped back on it, like, and it just.
No, are you talking about the one with? Oh no, you did because that was the one with the Weidman fight.
Yep, and he stepped back and it just.
Oh yeah, that was not fun. And then go figure, fucking Weidman gets his leg broken.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds of that shit?
Yeah.
And everywhere in the world, like that's.
But then now you look at Conor McGregor and his Instagram and he looks beefy.
He's jacked right now. I mean, he's sitting
huge.
at like, yeah, he's sitting at. I mean, what was it? He just talked about he's like he's at 170 now. He feels good. He just actually.
I don't think he's gonna move as fast, but he is big.
Bro, I just read an article just now. He's looking to try to fight Kamaru Usman. So do you know that exactly? Yeah. That motherfucker is not like that dude. The thing he's 170 pounds is horrendous. Like, dude, that guy is massive.
He's big.
He's a middleweight. Like, how the fuck does he weigh 170, 185? How the fuck does he cut down to 185? He's just a big person.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing to see like these guys do that because Conor's like, oh, I could. That's middleweight, yeah, welterweight. So him cutting down to 170, would be like crazy because he's so big. 170 is small. Jesus Christ! I weigh 260 pounds.
Dude, I'm 240.
Holy fucking shit! Like when I think about that, no way, dude. No fuck. Like when I think about 125ers.
Yeah.
Like little people like Demetrius Johnson, DJ. That motherfucker is only like, but he'll fuck you up. He'll fuck you up, dude.
And then I just want to see Conor McGregor come back full force, do one good epic fight, and then just mic drop it and retire.
I mean, that's what he should do.
Like,
legit.
Yeah.
That's what he should do.
Are you into football at all?
I am. Actually,
who's your team?
Who's your NFL? Unfortunately, my Bears, Chicago.
God, I mean, you guys look good.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. It was such a shame. I heard about it.
I thought that would never happen. There was a rumor.
Dude,
it was a rumor, and I was like, there's no way.
I know.
Because they spent so much money getting him.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he goes to the Chargers.
Oh, of course, the Chargers. And now he's going to be playing with Bosa. So he's going to, oh, geez, that's just a nightmare.
And I was just like, but they got one hell of a deal.
What was it? Second rounder? I think it was a second rounder and a sixth rounder or a fifth rounder. I can't remember.
I think it's second and fifth.
God, that's still garbage.
And then I'm a Denver Bronco fan, so I was like hoping on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, and then they fucking did it. They did
we didn't get Aaron Rodgers.
I know you didn't, but
but we got Russell Wilson. Yeah,
and that's. I mean, if you're gonna have
we let go a quarterback, a wide receiver, a running back, 2 first-round picks, 1 second-round pick and a 5th-round pick for him. And it's like, God.
I mean, he has Russell Wilson, so you're not.
He has a magic man.
I mean, you're gonna have
49er fans are happy. Like they don't ever have to see him again.
Like I mean, once a fucking year, twice maybe. They're lucky once a year. Yeah.
But I was just like, man, that's a lot of money. And then I'm a Colorado Rockies fan, and we just picked up a crap ton of players. Pirates, Red Sox. We even picked up a San Francisco Giants player. So
I try to get into baseball, man, but I just can't do it.
It's so many names. I can't even name
what?
names.
How many games is it? 167 games?
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
Holy
and then there was COVID. It was like 60 games. And when it was 60 games, I was like, oh, Colorado has a shot. I was like, because they're always good within like 50 games. It's a 60-game series. 60 games for COVID. No, we won like 10.
Yeah,
I was like, where were you? Like, what happened? Like, that's our prime.
My brother, he's an avid Chicago fan, so he loves the Bears. Was it Bears, Sox, and Bulls?
Yeah.
And he's just like, fucking, all our teams suck. Every fucking one of our teams suck, man.
I'm also an underdogger. Like, my favorite quarterback now in college is Bailey Zappi. The guy, he should have been a Heisman contender.
Okay.
And if you look him up, if you look at his records, he threw 62 touchdowns in one season.
Who was this guy?
Bailey Zappi. If you look him up, I swear.
I'm looking him up.
He had, his yardage is crazy. He did 14 touchdowns within 2 games. Yeah, he's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look at his record.
Let's take a look here. I'm going to turn this on so we can.
Yeah, if you look at his record, it's insane.
So
he plays for Division One.
All right, let's look at ESPN bio.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Okay.
2021.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
62% rating, 5,967 yards.
Now, he played for
touchdowns.
Western Kentucky? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But
and then that's when COVID.
Oh, Jesus. Look at that.
Yeah.
11. COVID. Well, hey, listen, man. Everybody's going to look like a stud in college.
Yeah. That's better than Joe Burrow in college.
Oh, really?
He's the number one. If you compare him to the Heisman winner.
No, is this his year to get drafted or what?
So he's a senior this year.
Oh,
he's optional to get drafted. But
okay.
If you look him at the Heisman Trophy, he just won the Heisman Trophy at quarterback. Outdoes his stats.
Wow.
That guy does.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a wild.
There's a kid. My friend Jared. He coaches this kid, Carson Strong.
Okay.
And this kid's, man, he's got a cannon of an arm. He's super talented. He plays for Nevada State. Dudes, man, I'm telling you, he's going to be I saw him play. Actually, Jared coached him in high school. He played for Wilsey Wood. But I saw him play the Black and Blue Bowl, man. Holy fuck.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw him throw a ball, I couldn't believe, that ball had to go at least 50 yards. Clean. I was like, oh, my God, this kid's incredible. And I remember seeing him on the field, and he's just like this really tall,
Yeah.
Like, you know how you see certain players that are playing, in high school, and you're like, that kid's going to be.
Like, are you sure he's not a junior?
Yeah, right. That kid
college?
can't be fucking 16. What the fuck? But I saw him, and I'm like, that kid is fucking. Okay, right on. And then I saw him throw the ball. And I was like, holy shit. I was on the sideline. I just, those games you could just walk down there. It's Vacaville. They don't give a fuck. It's not like you're in the South where, they got security and shit. But, I walked down there, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to watch the game. And my friend was coaching on that side of the field, and I'm on the home side, and I'm just kind of watching. And they're driving downfield. They did a onside kick and recovered it. This whole thing, into the third, to try to come back because they were getting stomped out. And, Carson's line. He lines up to do this, I don't know if pass they're running or whatever play it was, but he lines up, steps back, dude, and just unloads this cannon. And I remember the ball just leaving his hand and just it almost it had wings on it, and it just kept going and going and going, and then boom, he caught it, and I was like, holy shit, that was at least 50 yards, and then. I was looking up on the combine, he was throwing the ball, he was passing the receivers and shit. Oh, dude, if I can find it.
There's that one guy, the defensive end guy, I think, at the combine, he did a 4:30, 4:51 40-yard dash. It's 260.
Yeah.
He was huge.
This motherfucker is, let's see if I can find it, dude. I was looking it up the other day because I follow him on Instagram. I used to till my shit got fucking hacked.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Fuck, I don't know, dude.
That's happened to 5 of my friends.
I don't know what the fuck happened. I was just doing one thing, and then next thing you know,
like that's happened to find my friends like, oh, get $5,000, of Bitcoin app, and I'm like,
Oh, these bastards.
bro, what are you doing? Like that happened to Eric. He has an auto body shop with his dad over here, right by the Arco.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to his Instagram.
Fuck.
And now
They
it's
got
yours.
it. Well, they first things first. They fucking accessed it, and my phone alerted me. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I went to change my password, and unfortunately, I have 2 accounts for my podcast, and I have one for me, and I for some reason have them linked to the same email. So it was really confusing. So I linked them because it makes more sense for me to access both.
Yeah.
Well, it changed the password for my podcast one and not my other one. So I went to go log into the other one, and that thing, you can't even access it anymore. I was getting, dude, what's really funny, honestly.
I know, I hit you up, yeah.
Honestly, not just you, it was my friend, one of my close friends, Robbie. He hits me up, dude, and he's like, hey, bro, what's up, dog? Is everything all right? And I'm like, yeah, I just got done playing around at golf. What's up?
Oh,
He's
you're
like,
giving out money.
He's like, oh, shit. He's like, I go, my account got fucked up. He's like, yeah, because, they were asking, saying you ran your card, and it came back declined, and you need this and that. I was like, no, disregard all that shit. He's like, okay, homie, well, I love you. I want to make sure you're good. If you ever need help, let me know. And I just thought, I was like, man, I love that motherfucker, dude.
There you go, man.
I love that dude.
Me and a couple buddies were actually planning to go to the Black and Blue Bowl game, but we want to dress up as a. No, don't take it the wrong way, parents, whoever listening. We want to dress up as a
Liberty. He was a transfer from Auburn.
That's right, junior college scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So like Cal Poly, Nevada.
Oh, Jesus.
Oregon, CSU.
Oh, my God.
We want to go fully decked out, college gear, look legit with the passes, and we want to watch the football game and just
Oh, my God, that would fucking...
try to make the newspaper at least.
Oh,
like,
Jesus
we're
Christ.
college scouts at the
You could
Black
try.
and Blue Bowl. I know. I mean, I want to.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Good try. I'm trying to find this one with Carson in it so we can kind of see his arm strength.
So my fiance is like, you guys are going to get in so much trouble. And we're like, we know. But the possibility of a dad buying us beers afterwards might be worth it.
I mean...
Until we get our asses kicked. Like, oh, you guys aren't really in college? Like, you guys aren't college scouts? Like
oh, shit.
yeah.
But I still think it'd be pretty funny. But like I said, man, I think it'd be good. Why not? Fuck it. Why not?
We're gonna try it.
I would go for
I'll
it.
pay for. We're paying for the damn tickets. It's not like we're.
It's Vacaville. You gotta stir things up a bit.
Dude,
Have some fun with it.
I wish Vacaville did more. I really do. I really do.
It could be. Well, here's
Winners
the problem.
is doing well. Dixon's doing well.
Either they're doing not enough or too little. It's like there's never this.
Dude,
Because obviously you live here too, and
Yeah.
I've been here for a long time now too. Is that they're always trying, they're always opening new businesses. They're staying by it for about 2 weeks or a month or 6 months.
Are they though? It's like if you go downtown, it's like
What the fuck is that, dude?
it's
Downtown has
more-
changed.
Well, it's like you go downtown, it's mortgage company, realty company,
Yeah.
and it's like a diamond store, a food store. It's like
Like where does this fit in?
yeah,
Like
It's
we have a club
You go
now.
downtown Winners, it's nothing but food, beverage, and an Ace
I
Hardware
love
store.
Winners.
Yeah.
I fucking love Winners.
Yeah, and it's
It's got
great.
an old school feel to it. I like it. You can
It's all
walk down
food.
the street.
It's all food, alcohol, and
Yeah.
Ace Hardware,
Yeah.
and some other mom and pop shops. But you come down here to Vacaville, it's, McGuire Realty and First Bank Mortgage and another realty company and another one. And it's like, damn, enough's enough.
So
man.
what do you think that the cause of that is?
That's just downtown politics. I think, and that's the sad thing. I think Vacaville still has this mentality of like old money.
Mhm.
Old money. It's like there's so I told Vacaville in a meeting a while back there are 146 parking spots in downtown from
You counted that
Vasquez,
shit? There's
Vasquez Deli
fucking
from Vasquez Deli to the Gold's Gym.
okay.
There's 146 parking spots. Why can't downtown Vacaville get with a car club, sell each spot for $25 for
I
car
see.
clubs,
I see what you're saying.
and you do a car show on the last night of the Creek Walk? So your car show goes from 3 p.m. till 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Creek Walk starts at 5 and it ends at 9.
Right.
Guys who are in the car show, they're not going to leave at 5. They're going to go to
No.
the creek walk.
Right.
You'd have the most epic drive off
Yeah,
ever
it would be
at
kind of
9
cool,
o'clock.
actually. That actually is a good idea.
And if you do 146 times $25, I mean, the city of Vacaville is going to make their money.
Yeah.
But it's inconvenient because where other people are going to park. We'll park down.
That would be cool, though.
Go
That would
park
be
over by
really
Brennan
cool.
Theaters. Sorry.
Yes.
You know,
Vacaville, make this happen. What is wrong with you people?
Dude, I'm telling
This is
you.
fun. Isn't this like, I remember back in the day going to Foster Freeze.
Did
And
they
they
still
still-
do it?
yeah,
Just
see?
not as much. I mean, because of COVID happened, but you can get with Frost Freeze though.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
they were doing that shit all the time.
Yeah, Vacaville is just
Get it together, guys.
It's hard.
Get it together.
Well, you have mayors and people on the they're just really they're not our generation. I mean the vice mayor, I think he's 35.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So hopefully he'll just get the ball rolling on something. It's like I don't want the creek walk every Friday. Like, give us a good event at the end of summer. Like, besides the creek walk, like a good event.
Okay.
And like people got mad because the Christmas tree lighting got canceled, and they're like, "Oh, you could do the Halloween stroll or the Brew Fest, but you can't do the Christmas tree lighting. It's a total different entity."
Right.
They have their own little bracket, like the Christmas tree lighting council bracket, and they didn't want to do it because anything over 10,000 people, they'd have to do COVID tests,
Oh, that makes sense.
all that stuff. So,
and that place
and
is
they blamed Vacaville.
That place is a mess. I've been there. I've only gone to the Christmas tree lighting like twice.
Yeah.
Because I went the first time, I was younger, and I just started living here, and I was like, oh, this is fun. The second time I did it, I was like, I'm never doing this again because it's brutal. Like, you're just crowded. You want to watch it, but shit's
People
going.
with baby strollers, just like they're like tanks.
I know,
man.
it
They
sounds
get, like,
terrible. I'm a single guy with a dog, but like shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just a pain in my ass.
Like, I just like going to get the French onion soup down by the
Tell me
Vacaville
how you
Museum.
really feel, man.
Yeah,
Tell
down
me
by
how
the
you
Vacaville
feel.
Museum. It's at the very end. Like, you're a mile from the Christmas tree, but free French onion soup down.
Done. Sign me up.
Styrofoam cup. It's not even French onion soup. It's just beef broth and onions. Doesn't even have any cheese.
Raw onions.
Yeah, it tastes so good because it's free. That's the only reason.
I love it. Actually, it's proven. It's proven that things that you don't pay for or are made for you they taste better, in your mouth.
Right?
It's proven.
So, how do your friends think about all this? The podcast.
Well, here's the funny thing is I remember when I first initially started this, it was very basic.
Yeah.
I was literally like, oh God, actually I still have it on my
YouTube.
on my YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original one I did with my friend about Star Trek, and we were talking about one of his ideas he had for Star Trek, and it was actually kind of fun. But a lot of my friends at first, when I first started doing it, they were like, I said I was going to do something, and they're like, we'll see how it goes. And then at that point, I'm one of those people where if I want to do something, I make it happen. I don't wait. I don't sit around. I'm like, I got to make this happen. So I figure it out. So essentially it started as an idea, and then I got better. Because at first it was very cheesy and lame. Like I was like, hey guys, welcome to you know. And then it kind of changed around a little bit to just like talking to people. And I realized like at the end of the day, I've always had the innate ability to just sit down across the table from anyone and have a conversation, right?
Same.
And that's whatever. I could talk to guys. I could talk to a random person in a fucking elevator.
I do it all the time.
Walking down the street. I have that ability.
Gets pissed about that.
But I get that from my dad, unfortunately, because he's that kind of guy too. But it's just one of those things. I have that ability just to sit across from somebody and just talk about just anything. I mean, you could just be talking about, if it's not something I'm able to relate with, I can still kind of I'll listen, ask questions, and have a good time. But when it comes to like a lot of my friends, when they first initially saw me starting this, it was more or less like, oh, this is really cool. Like, we should be on it. We should do like a 4-person one and all this. And I remember my first go at it. It was before I had cameras. It was only audio. I still had the mixer I had now. I didn't have any of the nice mics. I actually used just like, stage mics, which work just fine, by the way. Dynamic microphones, they work great. These are dynamic microphones, so they work great too. But I set everything up I remember we were watching UFC. I set everything up, and everyone's like, holy shit, like this guy's I had all the mics. I had everything set up. I had the volumes all right. It was dialed in. I'm like, good. And my friends were like, what the fuck? This is real, dude. Like, you're really fucking doing it. And I said, yeah, dude, like, this is how I roll. I'm going to make it happen. And I remember we were hanging out, a good friend of mine I had a group over for UFC, and they're like, "Hey, what's the plan after the fight?" I go, "Well, I'm podcasting, so you guys want to meet us at the bar, you can." And they're like, "Well, we're not going to go with that. It's lame." I go, "Okay, well then you got two options. One, you either go wait in your car and wait, or you sit on the couch and you just respect that I'm doing this podcast for the next hour, and then we'll leave."
Okay.
And it was really surprising at first because a lot of my friends were like really like interested in it, and they were like, "Oh, I want to be a part of it." And then it got to this point, like after I asked him that question, he was like, "We'll sit and wait." So they sat down on the couch, 3 grown men, just, and then my 4-person podcast, and we're completely silent, didn't say a word, let us do our podcast. It was a good hour. It was okay, to say the least, because we were very unprepared, I guess you could say. Like I was able to talk, but then like it's funny. You learn etiquette a lot more when you're podcasting. You give people time to speak and you hear them out. There's no way we're going to have a conversation, you and I, without going back and forth. So you learn to just know when to listen and then be like, okay, it's, my turn. And then that person listens, and you actually can get more information that way. Like you can actually, I feel like it sticks in my brain more because I have that back and forth, and it teaches me how, not only do I know how to have a conversation, but now I know how to really listen to somebody and then taking that information and then state how I feel about it. And then it's back and forth. It's good. It's healthy. You learn that. Now, what happens a lot of times is when I have all my friends over, which I love that I call it the Derek and Friends podcast.
Yeah.
Is I have my friends over and we just fucking banter, or we'll talk over each other, or like it's just like stumbling over. And it's fun because it's my friends. We have a good time. It's great. But when I have guests on, such as yourself, or people that I don't really sit down and get to talk to, I get an opportunity to sit down. I get an opportunity just to kind of hang out and just chill and feel the vibe and go with it, and not have if I invite somebody over who's a producer or who does stuff like that, or has a specific reason why I brought him over. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of research and have something to talk about. If I decide to talk to the person we were talking about earlier, I would love to. I'll have questions and I'll have things ready. Yeah. But at the same time, if I just want to hang out and get to know somebody, it's like, I could just sit down and talk to them.
There you go.
And that's kind of where it all branched from. Was just having not necessarily an outlet, but an ability to talk to people. Because sometimes we get in this weird nest, or we're like, these are my 4 friends and this is it.
Yeah.
Or this is how the world is, right? And then you hang out with you have, for me, I always had multiple friend groups. I never had one central. Same. I've always had
bar
hang
friends.
Out the bar friends, the homies, the fucking people I met over
and then,
here.
Your friend.
Golf buddies, all this kind of weird, crazy shit. And then now it's turned into just your friend group, and that's it. And that's how
I've dropped a lot of bar friends.
Right, and it happens.
I've worked at the bar industry, and it was great. The bar friends were
I know you were running. You were doing that for a minute.
I miss it. I miss it.
Do you?
The money was so good.
Fucking dude, I remember seeing you.
Dude, I was downtown 7 days a week.
I was gonna say, I remember seeing you there, and you were just so you were. I remember walked in. I was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" You were talking about an order. You're like, "Fuck, I'm trying to get these kegs in here, and these bastards aren't fucking delivering them." Yeah. And I've been on the phone with them for the last 3 goddamn days. If we don't get this, man, we're going into a weekend. We're gonna be hurting, man. I'm gonna lose. Yeah. And I remember just like, are you able to talk? You're like, yeah, give me 2 hours. No, I'm like, fuck it, 2 hours downtown. I'll be shit faced by then. There's no way I'm gonna be ready to talk.
I miss the bar, but eventually one day I will have my own bar. I think it's great that you did the podcast, and I think it's great that you didn't announce it broadly, keep going. I think you moved in secret, and then now it's starting to pick up.
Sure.
And it's kind of dude, I totally support it. I love it.
I appreciate that, man.
I love it because it's you moved in secret and you did these moves. So now the friends that knew about this and kind of whatever, it's not going to get any bigger, or, oh, you might, whatever they told you down the road, and now look at you now.
Right.
You moved in secret. You're making moves, man.
Right. And I think ultimately my goal was never, ever to do anything more than just hang out with people and talk. Yeah. I mean, that was ultimate goal. But, I did a podcast with my friend Mark, good guy. Mark and I go way back. He's a drummer, very talented drummer. He did a lot of industrial. He likes very intricate metal, drumming. He's very, very talented.
Yeah.
And him and I did this podcast. And it was us just being ourselves, musicianally, and just talking about things like experiences. I actually roadied for him. He opened up for Comedy Christ on a out in Frisco, and I showed up and I roadied for him. I was his only roadie, but I got to meet Comedy Christ and hang out, and they let me in free, and I took care of the band, and it was fun, And I remember in the middle of the podcast there was a sense of like genuine like conversation, or when like you lose sight of like the microphones and the cameras, and you start to talk about shit that you like care about, and then it's like, oh, we're just talking, and there's that moment where you're like, oh, this is legit, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then I realized, that's something I want to continue to do and find. Mm-hmm. So whether I find that with like my friends, which I most of the time, unfortunately, you bastards are my friends, and I don't necessarily feel that way about you guys anymore. Okay, I see you guys so goddamn much. It's like, what's new, man? Nothing. Yeah. Okay, cool, awesome. Go back
I told my fiance.
I still love you guys. I'm sorry. I just want to say that.
Yeah. I told my fiance about this, my best buddy, my dad, my mom, her dad. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be on this podcast. And we're like, and my dad's a lot older, and same with her. And they're like, podcast. I'm like, a radio talk show. And like, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So, hey, Dad, John Berkman, John Lackey, shout out to you guys. I don't know what camera to look in, but
on this one.
Shout out to you guys, Dad, John Lackey, and my best buddy, Danny. That guy, he's a firefighter, so he's been my best buddy for years. When I got in the Marine Corps, he was my first roommate, and he was young. I'm the oldest. He's the youngest, but I look up to him like a big brother.
Oh,
and really? Dude, I felt so sorry for him when we first moved in. Like, I was out of control. I was just out of the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps at the time, the VA was feeding you. They wouldn't just evaluate you. Oh man, I don't even know if I can say that right, but
evaluate.
Yeah, evaluate. Yeah. Did they just load you up on
whatever
oxys?
Oh, Jesus
Norcos.
Christ!
And that's before this whole opioid crisis kicked in, and they would just, oh, you're in pain. Here's Vicodin. Oh, it's not working. Oh, Norco. Oxys. And they would just feed you. I was going, they'd give me a 60-day supply, and I'd finish that in 25 days.
Oh my God.
And I'd get a refill, and the VA wouldn't even ask a question.
That's insane.
They put 6 refills on a bottle.
They actually, it's funny you say that. I went and got a tooth pulled, and that sounds like it's completely different, but I got my tooth pulled, and they gave me like fucking 15 Percocet for my tooth getting pulled, and I'm like, dude, this is like hardcore shit. And I remember going, I'm not going to use. I went home. I used ibuprofen. Yeah. I didn't even need it.
But
I'm like, why are they just giving you like these kind of drugs?
Dude, the VA
that's
was
insane.
Horrible. And I was dating my ex-wife at the time, and my buddy Danny did not like her, and I should have listened to him. Not even get married to her, but end up doing it and whatever. And but my buddy Danny, he's always been there for me, thick and thin, man. Thick and thin. And dude, I don't know where I'd be in life without him. Swear to God. Like, I've burnt some bridges, not even joking. I got addicted to oxys. I was drinking heavily, and I stole money from my parents.
Wow.
I stole.
What's the most you ever stole? You know what I mean?
I forged a check.
Holy shit.
For $5,000.
Levi. Holy fuck.
$10,000 from my little brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's how bad it got.
I've done some shady shit.
I've done some shit.
I've done some shady shit like that too, but
like it got so bad my mom had to take, like, she got so stressed out. I had to go to her parents' house up in Utah. She spent like a couple months up there. And I was still giving my dad shit. Wow. Stealing, you name it. I mean, I'd find a way to get in, and it was horrible. Wow. Horrible. And then got in trouble with the law. My 30th birthday, got arrested. And I remember making that phone call to my dad. I had nowhere to call. Like, who's going to trust me to bail me out?
Right.
I called my dad, and he picked up. And it was like, you got a call from Solano County. You know?
Oh, right.
And he's like,
I've got
hello?
one of those before, yeah.
You know? And he's like, why did you say you're calling from Texas? I'm like, I'm not in Texas, man. It says Solano County Jail. And he's like, well, caller ID says Texas. I'm like, I'm not. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm in jail. He bailed me out, picked me up, dropped me off at my apartment, and he looked at me and he was like, "Happy birthday," and that was it. And
Wow.
and it took my mom to fly out to have my grandpa come out, and my grandpa looked at me straight up and was like, "If you do not straighten up," he's like, "I don't ever want to talk to you," and that man means the world to me, and that was it. And my buddy Danny hung in the whole time. He never talked to me. Didn't want to talk to me because he was living his own life. We weren't roommates anymore, but he was doing his own life. He was doing a lot better. He was going to school, becoming a firefighter, EMT. He would check up on me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wasn't going on the straight, if I wasn't bettering myself, all right, he wouldn't pick up the phone call.
Wow.
Because he knew, he could hear it in my voice.
What was not to cut you off, what was the moment when you realized that something had to change in you? Not necessarily someone else, because I know sometimes that's how it seems.
It was my grandfather, big time, and my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like forging a check from my little brother. And thank God that account was closed. Like that was no longer,
my goodness,
like functional account, and I did that.
But here's the thing, though, that's crazy.
And my little brother gave me hell. Didn't want to talk to me. Didn't talk to me for a year. You know, it was bad. You know Kyle Niehoff?
Yeah.
Him and I were roommates.
Okay.
That was when I was in all this bad place. Him and I were roommates with, Justin.
I think it do. Is it Justin? Yeah, bartender Justin.
No, not bartender
Justice?
Justin.
I call him Justice.
No, not bartender Justin.
I love Justice.
Here, I'll pull him up real quick. You'll actually know.
I like how you say bartender Justin, and we all fucking know who the fuck.
Justin? Yeah,
the bartender. Yeah. I used to play dice with that guy. I used to beat him all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that guy's a great guy too. Though. I love that guy. But it was Justin, James, this Justin right here.
What we got here? What's going on?
Trying to load his little profile, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Here, I don't know if you can see his little emblem. He has a daughter. He has a friend, William.
Mm-hmm.
I call him Larry Bird. He looks like Larry Bird. His roommate's Omar.
It's okay. I don't know if I know. I'm a face person. I'm usually really, really good with names.
So they were all my roommates. I was still, dude, they're paying me rent money because the home was in my name. The rent.
Oh, Jesus.
I was taking it buying pills.
Oh, Jesus.
So they thought I was paying rent the whole time. And then one lady, it was Solano Property Management. They came walking up with a sheriff and a lock guy.
Oh, Jesus.
And I come running in Kyle Niehoff's room, and I said, "Hey, can you watch the dogs real quick? I got to talk to the Solano property." And he's like, "Yeah." He knew there was something up. He put the damn dogs in the backyard. He's not dumb. Why would I have a backyard. Why would I tell him to watch it? Because I wanted to separate people. He came out, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" And they're like, "You guys have 10 days to get the hell out of here."
Oh, Jesus.
And I burnt all those bridges, and it took me years to get it back. Years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Years. And it's unfortunate.
I mean, I'll never get back some of them. Like Joey Armour used to be a really good friend. I mean, I say hi to him on Instagram, wish him happy birthday. He has a family, he has kids. And I understand. You don't want to give me a second chance. I understand. But he still gives me respect now because he knows I changed my life to, like, thank you. Though. Appreciate it.
I mean, you had to experience the low. You had to experience. It's the same. I understand that feeling. I understand where you say you had to go to that low point.
Oh, it was.
And I applaud you for pushing past it.
Oh,
I applaud you for moving. I had a cadre years ago when I went to my military academy. I was 17 years old. His name was Sergeant Federici. And he always had this thing called raise up, Yeah. No matter where you are in your life, you can always go up.
Yeah.
You can always go up. Even if you're lowest, your highest point, you can always go up. And that was his whole idea, When you're feeling like the worst you can ever feel in the world, you always have a way out. And then you have to make that decision. And no one else can make it for you. If you want it, you have to want it. It's not hey, I think you're having a bad day, this and that. It's, I want to make something happen.
Yeah. At that time, I was like, I wanted to see how deep I could go. I didn't want to go up. I was like, man, if I'm this deep, how much further could I go?
Jesus.
Like, it was
Fucking
bad.
deep end, bro.
Like, it was bad. And I kind of blame the VA a little bit for the whole opioid. Like, they were just, dude, it was Skittles. Oh, Norcos? Yeah, 6 refills. 30-day
Holy
supply.
shit.
Pop them. I'd go through them in 20 days.
I think I've
get a
only
refill.
taken, like...
They wouldn't even question. I just go to the pharmacy, show them an empty bottle. Oh, boom. Refill.
Oh, my God, that's crazy.
And,
that's crazy.
Oh, why are you done in 20 days instead of 30? Oh, I had to take a couple extra because of the pain. No questions asked. Here you go. There you go.
I mean, did you at least have a good time being in the Marine Corps? Did you at least...
Oh, I love the Marine Corps, man. I have some stories.
That's good, though. By the way, thank you for serving my
Oh,
country, man.
thank you for the support, man. I
Absolutely,
appreciate it.
brother.
Yeah, I love the Marine Corps.
My dad served. He was
there
in
you
for
go.
over 20
Yeah,
20
Kyle
years.
Niehoff was in the Marine Corps. And that's what kind of hurt when I burned all those bridges. Like, Kyle was like, man, you're like a brother. We were in the, he was in the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps. So there was like a Marine Corps love there. And he's like, dude, you burnt that. And
Damn.
It just took a long time, man. And then when I was getting arrested and stuff, my dad has multiple myeloma bone cancer.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He was going through chemo. And I had a freaking visitor. And I was in Solano County. I had a visitor, and it was my damn dad. And he was in the middle of chemo. No hair, no eyebrows.
My
wore a
goodness.
mask. And I broke down, man. Like,
I bet.
Like, my mom's like, oh, I can't do it.
That's insane.
My mom's like, I can't do it, I'll cry. Right? And my dad walked in, and I was like, oh. And I realized, like, family means everything to me.
Right.
So why was I doing this? Like, why was I doing this? My dad is very important to me. And, like, still, I talk to him every day. I talk to my mom every day, my little brother. My older brother and I are still on the fence. Nothing to do with what I did. That's a whole nother thing. That's between him and I. But I talk to my family every day. My dad still has, like, be safe. Always when we end the phone call. Because he just doesn't want me to fuck up anymore. I'm 37 years old now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to be safe. And I was having a conversation with my mom, and I was like, you know what? You know when you know you're a real adult, when you know you're fully grown up, is when you don't have your parents anymore. My mom doesn't have her parents, and my dad doesn't have their parents. They're gone. So my grandparents are all passed away. That's when you know you're an adult.
You know, there's a point in the film, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. There was a saying. It's like you're meant to lose the ones you love.
Mm-hmm.
How else would you know how important they are to you?
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, while it's a pretty heavy line, but it makes perfect sense sometimes because we look past things. We think of things as like very simple. Like, oh yeah, I can just pick up the phone and call this person, or it's just like they're there.
My mom still, I think it's been 7 years for my grandma on her mom, and she still has a hard time because she called her every day. But I looked at her and I was like, that's how you know you're really an adult, is when your parents are gone because you can't rely on them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm a grown up, I still talk to my mom about advice, even my dad.
I mean, there's been times where. I mean, there's been time. I first of all, man, thanks for sharing me that story, man. That's deep shit, dude. I did not know there are levels to this.
Kyle Niehoff, he knows it all. My buddy Danny, he knows it all, dude.
I'm very.
My brother's like, I don't hide from it anymore. I used to be ashamed of it, and then I started doing the downtown, working downtown and stuff like that, and people would be like, oh, he did this, and this, and I found out you got to own up to it. You own it. And I own it.
Right.
If you want to judge me on what I did, go for it. It's not okay. Mm-hmm. There's a billion other people here in the world. I don't care. Like, if you want to judge me on my past, go for it. That's fine. Kyle, he's like, dude, if you ever fuck up, I find out you fucked up, we're done. So I don't lie to him. Nothing. I don't want to lose that friendship again. Same thing with my buddy Danny. He's like, he's got a family. He's got 2 kids. He's a firefighter, he can't be involved with that crap. He can't. Right. So to him, like, he's the most important thing. He's like another family member to me. So he calls me every once in a while. I talk to him. His daughter is my goddaughter. So I don't want to mess up in life anymore. I just want to go up from here. I want to make moves in secret. Like I want to later down the road maybe have my own bar.
And you could have all that stuff.
Oh
man.
yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah. I mean, if the stock market comes up, sorry,
You're
the
good,
stock
man.
market comes up,
Everyone's so nervous to be, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's just like,
But no, you're gonna have those things, man. I mean, you just gotta if you're really gonna do it, just do it. I mean, when I tell my friends about things that I want to do, I don't think about like I go, okay, I want to make this happen. How do I get there? And I just make it happen.
yeah,
It's the same thing when I used to do with my music. When I used to perform everywhere, I played the whole downtown circuit. My first show was at Blondie's. I was 22. I mean, I was doing all kinds of crazy shit back then. And I was just like, let's just go do it. And they're like, how the fuck do you just like show up?
you just gotta go. You just have to.
Yeah. Don't even worry about like fucking who gives a fuck if you go up there and you look like a jackass. I played a show at fucking Blondie's one time to 7 people. 7 fucking people.
Yeah.
Okay? We played, there was an opening band who played for fucking 2.5, 3 hours. We went up at 11. They took all their equipment.
Time. That's prime time.
They took up all their equipment. So all we had was our fucking hand-me-down shit that wasn't even that good. We played this. I played on the fucking dance floor because there's not enough room for all of us to fit on the stage. And it was atrocious. Like, it was just a horrible experience. But did we do it? Yeah. Because you do it. It is what it is. Like, you just show up and you nut up or shut up. And I think that's necessary for, especially it's I call it a part of the process.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to show up and get cool venues and great spots and handshakes and you're going to be the shit. No, you're going to get like, hey man, I paid for an hour. Go up there and play. All right, sounds good. Like, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I'll go up there and play. And we'll go up there and play, and then you leave. Hey, man, I got another guy coming in a half hour. Make sure your shit's out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of, it's a business, right? So when you say, like, am I going to have a bar one day? Like, dude, you'll have your own spot. It's just going to be, it's got to fit right with you, right? Whenever you decide to do it. When you decide you want something and you go for it, I mean, depending on the person, and I know I say this like anybody can if they really want to. Yeah. But it depends on where you stand on it and what you're willing to give up to get it, right?
Yeah. Well, I look at it this way: you can't fail in life or anything if you get up one more time than you've been knocked down. You're not failing. Right. You're winning. As long as you
success.
No, I mean that's success. But in anything, if you get up more than you've been knocked down, just one more time.
True.
You didn't fail.
True.
You didn't fail at all. You got up.
But it's healthy to fail, and I think people nowadays don't fucking.
You learn.
I think people nowadays don't understand how important failure is.
I don't
understand how important it is to suck at something, because the people who suck, who do suck at it, the ones who are gonna fucking make something happen, they do. They go, oh man, I suck at this, but I want to get better.
I think it's
what do I do?
It's society though. Like, I think when I was in T-ball.
Oh shit. When I was in T-ball, bro, it was ruthless.
But when I was in T-ball, there was no trophies for every single place. It was first, second, and third, and that was it.
Otherwise, you suck.
But now everybody gets a trophy. Or they stop count. They stop count now. If it gets too much, they stop count.
I mean,
they don't go over a certain amount of score on the scoreboards.
No.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
If I'm going to mop the floor with you, bro.
I want to see the score.
16-0. That's what I want to see.
But that
it starts from there. 16-0 is going to be hanging, like it's going to be hanging over your fucking head for the next 2 weeks. Like, hey, we're playing these guys again. We better, what I mean?
Kids who have like, who need to go, like, who have a reading disorder or hard at math and stuff. They used to have to go to like a separate room, to learn because they're a little bit slower. Now the teachers they slow the whole class down.
Wow. Dude, bro.
It's like, dude, I was one of those special ed kids, man. I had a reading disorder.
I couldn't see.
Thank God for the Marine Corps. I swear to you, from whenever I was born till high school, I couldn't, for the life of me, man, I could not read.
Really?
Dude, hard as hell.
Wow.
I mean, I probably had like a third grade.
Was it a vision thing or was it just comprehensive?
Dude, I couldn't.
Comprehension.
It was comprehension. I just didn't understand it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
Okay.
And my dad was like, if you can't read, you can't do anything in life. You'll be fooled for the rest of your life. And so I joined the Marine Corps, and my dad was like, "You're an idiot." I was 18. I was, I called him. I was living in Utah, finishing out high school, and I was like, "Hey, I joined the Marine Corps." My dad's like, "Oh God, you're an idiot." And then joined the Marine Corps, did an ASVAB. I had studied my ass off for an ASVAB to get in. And the Marine Corps was like, "Hey, you need a 31." And I was like, "I just want to do infantry." They're like, they're like, "Okay, you definitely,
deep, bro. You were
they're like,
balls
you
deep.
definitely need a 31.
I had a homie do the same thing.
They basically said, they gave me the ASVAB test. There's 3 different types, and they made me take them over and over and over and over and over.
What'd you
and over
score
again.
on your first shot? What'd you score?
Oh, dude, honestly, 38.
A 38? Wow.
Yeah, horrible. But it was enough to get in the Marine Corps and join the infantry.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
Then I realized, you got to take a test to graduate, and you got to read. Like, they didn't tell me that part.
They
didn't tell me that part.
Yeah.
So I learned how to read in the Marine Corps, and I got injured. So instead of 3 months of boot camp, I did 7.5.
Jesus Christ.
I stayed. I had an option to get out.
I
had an option to get out.
I had no idea.
So I was on, it's called the Crucible. And
I heard about that.
A drill instructor hit me, and it slightly tore my ACL, MCL.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I had an option to go home. And if I went home, I would have to start it all over again.
You're like, fuck that.
Or they're like, you can stay, and when you heal, you pick up on the exact same day you got hurt. So I was like, I'm staying. So I did.
Tore your ACL?
Yeah.
What the
so
fuck,
I did.
Dude? That's
so
a
it was like
serious.
7 months total.
That's a serious injury,
I did,
bro.
Instead of 3 months, I did like 7.
Oh my God.
I did 7. So I learned how to read. And
Holy
so
shit.
when I graduated, I got a new MOS. I got attached to an amphibious assault, 3rd Battalion, and I got new orders. I got orders to new MOS to do amphibious assault. So I read the orders out right there in front of my dad on graduation, and my dad's like, "Oh my God, they taught him how to read." And that was like my dad's proudest moment. It was like, F you graduating the Marine Corps, like, good job, like, I'm so proud of you. It was like, they taught you to read, like, I'm so proud. Like, and I remember when I graduated, I hugged my grandpa and my Uncle Bud, who was in World War II, Korea and Vietnam. I hugged them, and I gave my mom a handshake.
Oh, wow.
Like, hey mom.
Hey, Mom.
And my mom's like, what the, like, hugged my my grandpa.
Because you got it. You made it, like something made sense now.
Yeah, so.
It made sense
and
now.
my mom's like, I gave birth to you. And I'm like, sorry.
I was watching this thing just recently it was a TikTok video. It was like Instagram, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And it was a guy saying that he had left his cell phone in a stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And he left the stadium. It was during a football game. He had left and then tried to go back, and it was closed, and saw a janitor and said, "Listen, this is my seat I was sitting in. I left it there. It's saying it's here. I can tell you. Can you please go look?" And the guy's like, he said, "I'll pay you. I'll give you whatever you want." This guy's like, "Okay." Maintenance guy goes all the way over there, grabs it, comes all the way back. He's like, "Here, man, take it. He goes, "No, I don't want the money. I don't want the money. But here's what I want from you. Okay, I want you to promise me every time you see a Vietnam War vet, from now on, I want you to shake their hand, say, 'Welcome home,' and thank you."
Oh, that's awesome.
And the reason behind it was that when Vietnam War vets came back, they weren't welcomed. They were never said welcome home. And it was like, he's like, to this day, I will make an adamant point to go over and see a gentleman who is a Vietnam War vet, shake their hand and say, "Welcome home."
There you go.
And it's like, you're like, that's way, way more than a couple $100. Like that's like that. I thought that was a really good. Not only was that a really good message, but it gives those individuals something to know that what they did meant something.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a war we lost or a war we wasted life on. It was like you did your duty. So hey, welcome home, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of times, obviously, for anybody who are service members who do serve the armed forces, I am an avid supporter of that. And I know a lot of times, there are times when we discredit veterans or we discredit them for some horrible reasons. They could just say they're senile or they lose their minds or whatever. I mean, some of the older, some of the guys who experience shit like that, some people will never truly understand what the fuck that means because they never ever gone through it themselves. So to sit there and say like this is oh well they're just whatever blah blah blah. I think there's a whole lot of underlying things that go with that.
Yeah, I think people really got together after 9/11 to support the troops. Mm-hmm. Like any veteran, people were like supporting the troops left and right. And I think that, man, 9/11 also. I think 9/11 also had the best World Series ever in my mind. 9/11.
Really?
After 9/11, yeah, when it was the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
It was all the old geezers who played for Arizona who used to like Randy Johnson, who hit a pigeon. By the way, pitching.
Was that fucking year?
Yeah. No. I mean, he used to play for the Yankees.
He used to play. Okay,
but he's known for hitting. Known for hitting a bird, a pigeon that came in his pitch, just dust. But it was all these old guys on. It was for Arizona, and no other team wanted to pick him up. They're like, "Oh, you're washed out," kind of thing. Oh, you can't hit, you can't run. And I think it went to Game 7. All the way to Game 7. Best World Series ever. I mean, it was New York won, Arizona won, and I think it ended in New York. And it was just like it was epic. Epic.
I think the connection to that, the connection to what was going on in the world at that
everybody
time
was just
connected. Linked up. Yeah, there was no diversity, there was nothing. It was very and it was us against whoever was trying to kill us,
Yeah, and now people are just tired of the bullshit. I mean, we still love our veterans and people in the military. I think people are just tired of the bullshit. We don't want to be in a war. We don't want to be part of a war.
Yeah, well,
we don't want to do anything. And you got Russia.
It's coming.
Oh, fucking.
We just don't know when, but it's coming.
Putin, dude, not to give the guy kudos, but that guy knows what he's doing.
I mean,
he stole a Super Bowl ring.
He has. Yeah, he did.
He stole a Super Bowl ring.
I know.
And he didn't have to apologize for it.
I know, that's
the
insane.
Owner apologized to Putin.
Dude, that guy's a fucking gangster, dude.
Yeah, the owner apologized to Putin and said, "Oh, I hope the ring brings Russia closer together."
That's how you know that
makes no freaking sense,
bro. That's how
bro.
you know that guy is a fucking G.
Yeah.
Like, that motherfucker murders people
and it's sad.
on the reg.
We're on your podcast, and people are going to be like, oh, Ukraine. Like, it is completely sad. Absolutely.
Listen.
I 100% agree. Whatever Putin's doing, I 100%. Whatever. I agree. But let's just take it back. Let's just say there was no war. He's a gangster. There's some videos out there on YouTube. He showed up to a meeting.
Do you know he trains too, bro?
Yeah.
Fucking.
Oh, they took away his black belt? Okay.
Ruthless, bro.
Like, I think the media just kind of stirs it up. They're like,
oh,
they took away his black belt.
Fuck being that guy's trainer.
And it's like, okay.
Fuck
What does that mean? Does it mean he doesn't know how to do it anymore?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I took away your pencil. You don't know how to write. What? You taught me how to write. I know,
dude.
I'll make, But he's just a savage, and he's up to something. Who knows? But I feel sorry for
He has a motive, and Ukraine's putting up a good fight right now.
It's insane, and I just remember when the news was the news. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they would investigate. They would investigate something for a week.
Before you actually heard about like, you heard legitimately.
And then it would become a main story.
Right.
On Friday night
but
or
now
whatever.
It's
now it's whoever's first.
Whoever pumps the shit out first.
Whoever's first.
Whoever's going to give you that.
Dude, they take people's Snapchats.
But they'll take they'll twist the narrative. They'll turn it into something else. They'll pick sides. Is it right or left?
Yeah.
Is it what's going to get me more political? Like, it's going to make them more. What's going to get more people on my side by saying this, or what's going to pick people like the right people on this? Oh, well, I want to, and. Fuck, I don't watch the news. I don't like the news. I don't like watching it anymore. I got bored.
Dude.
You know how I get news?
It used to be really good. 60 Minutes was like,
dude,
come on once a month.
Yeah, but not
sit
anymore.
with your family.
No, yeah.
Now you're just like, what the hell?
It's lame. It's lame.
But you know what it's all about now? It's those Netflix documentaries.
Bro.
The Anna whatever.
What is it?
The Anna whatever. She like tricked millionaires in New York to give her money.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah, and then the Instagram guy.
Holy shit.
Or the POF guy, they called him
Plenty of Fish, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Swindler.
Holy
There's that guy.
Yeah, no, these guys.
Those two should hook up. They would be a power couple. Like F Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Anna and the Instagram, whatever his name is, like those guys hook up. They're
well, it's the name of the game these days, man.
dude. But there was like no consequences. It's like, oh, okay,
Nothing.
yeah. Like no one wanted to be named of who got her, who gave her money, who got It's like if that's the way the world works,
Scams are a
man,
big deal now.
I mean, you could scam someone that powerful and they don't want to admit it.
Here's what I thought back in the day was that it was easier to scam people because there was less tracking. You could do shit. Like
Yeah.
you could make up a person through mail. Like you could do all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And now
It was 2018, 2019.
Yeah. I thought
I remember when my teachers were like, "Oh, you'll never have a calculator in your hand ever. You need to learn this." It's like I could do algebra on this thing.
dude, you have software now where you can take a picture of an equation and it'll solve that shit.
MapQuest, don't need to print out anything. Google Maps, whatever you want to, Waze, whatever you want to use. But I'm just like, they have technology, and she spoofed them on technology now, which is crazy. But it's like, you really didn't dig into that. Like, you're gonna give someone millions of dollars, and you don't dig a little bit further than what you're supposed to. I go take out a home loan. It used to be, oh, you just said however much. Now it's like, you need to have proof. Make sure you have no debt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like almost like a background check, but it's like, she got away with it, man. Good for her. And now she's getting deported.
Well, I mean,
Ooh.
not good. I mean, she's sly, but at the end of the day, like
The Netflix series was dope, though.
you
gotta watch it.
I saw that. I gotta watch it. I heard about it, but I never actually watched it.
She's crazy.
I heard about it. Yeah, my friend sent me a
Poor
couple things on
lawyer.
it.
I'm surprised the lawyer didn't have a heart attack.
Her
Lawyer.
I'm really impressed with how Netflix is doing some of these. Or Netflix, fucking Prime did some shit. I'm like,
Oh, it did.
There's some impressive stuff going through Netflix now. They got movies coming out.
Oh, Project Adam.
I think
just came out. That was good with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
That was epic.
Where he goes back in time to himself or something like that.
It was great.
Yeah.
And Netflix, it knows how to do it. Underground
They're doing
6.
great.
They did that. I want the one with, who's the character from Thor? He did Netflix.
Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, remember he did a movie for Netflix.
Which one was that? Was it a military one?
Yeah.
It's like 13 something or whatever the fuck.
I can't remember, but he saves a little boy or whatever.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a part 2 apparently.
Really?
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Jesus. Well, a lot of these. There was a point. I remember when Netflix was a fucking vending machine.
Yeah, you get the movies in the mail.
That's actually you're right. My brother.
I thought it was like the stupidest thing.
My brother used to get the mail. I remember that he used to get them in this fucking flimsy ass packaging, and I'm like, "What is this nonsense?" He's like, "Oh, bro, it's a new thing. I can get 3 videos, no late fees, and I just send it back, and they send me 3 more." And I'm like, that seems kind of weird.
I go online, I pick my movies that I want.
Yeah.
And when I send these 3, they'll send me the other.
And then, so the genius was the guy. I'm sure it was the guy who did like the fucking vending machine. Who was like, let's put the vending machines in front of every convenience store.
Redbox, yeah.
And then next thing you know, that Netflix got turned. I mean, obviously, it's 2 different things, but they turned it into Redbox, and then now it was outbeating this. But then Netflix had to be like, no, I'm just going to charge you this much monthly, and you can have all of this stuff now.
Yeah.
Because they realized they were like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to compete with this.
Blockbuster messed up on that.
Redbox, I love Redbox. I was doing that all the time. I was like, oh cool, I'll go pick up a movie, whatever. And now it's kind of dropped off because movie making, since COVID, movie making's been kind of shit, unfortunately.
Except for that new Batman movie.
I didn't see it yet. My family saw it. They were like,
bro,
it's like 3 hours long or some shit.
I told my fiance Kaylee, I was like, I need to go see that again, and then you need to go see that for the first time. And she's like, oh, why? I was like, when the Batmobile starts up and those theater freaking speakers hit, it's not for me. It's for my enjoyment.
It's for you.
Lady, wear an extra pair of panties, because when that turbine comes on, man, it's like, you could feel it through your whole body,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be I won't have to do anything.
I love it.
She'll go home happy as a jaybird, acting like we just went for like 6 rounds, and I'll be like, 30-second scene from Batman. I need to get better speakers in my house because when this comes out on DVD,
Oh my
do half the work
goodness.
for me, man.
All right, Jesus. I guess that's the way to go nowadays.
Dude, it's amazing. It was amazing.
Was it
movie.
good? I called my family. My mom drove across country to go visit my brother in North Carolina, and she's staying there with him right now. And they went and saw it. I called them up. The first thing is like, dude, this movie was so goddamn long. Like you don't. Really, it's like a very very lengthy. It's like watching fucking Lord of the Rings. You remember when Lord of the Rings came, like the third one? We're like, oh, finally the trilogy. It's gonna be set, and you showed up. And you're watching it, you're like, all right, cool. This one scene, and then this next scene, and then this. You're like, I'm like, it's 2 hours and 47 minutes, and they haven't even got to the fucking Mordor yet. Like, we're fucking, where are we at with this? Like, get there, Frodo. But like, that's how that's how it felt. It felt like it just kept going and going, and now apparently it's not as dark as people thought it was going to be. Like, I felt like Dark Knight when I thought the Christopher Nolan version of Batman was a good version.
Yeah.
Because I think he picked the characters very, very well.
It's good.
But I haven't.
No, the Batman, it's good. The new one.
Pattinson, is he play a good role or what?
Like, I'm not trying to do any spoilers, but there's no reason.
Is he a good Batman? I mean,
there's no reason to do a Bruce Wayne background. We all know the comic books.
Of course we do.
We all know the comic books, but there are some twists.
Oh, really? Okay.
About the Bruce Wayne family, and you're like, what?
Yeah. No,
but it doesn't show Bruce Wayne as much as it does with like all the original movies.
Oh, so it does go into detail about his backstory.
No, there's no reason because we all know it.
Right. But I'm saying like the family.
It's just Batman.
Okay.
It is just Batman. Oh, there's some Bruce Wayne parts, but it's like, okay, you don't really care about it. You just want to see Batman kick ass, be a detective, and that's what he does. And it's like, all these other Batmans is like the Christian Bale, great. Batman Begins, loved it. And it's like because you get to see how he becomes Batman and he's a great detective, blah, blah, blah. This one was kind of like he's a great detective. He has a great mind. He's just kind of getting into it. Okay. Because he's only been around for so long, you know? And so it's like, it's good. It's good.
That's good,
Fights
man.
I can't remember the guy who plays the Penguin.
Danny DeVito? Oh, no. It's in the movie.
In the movie.
Oh, I'm like thinking of the old one. Danny DeVito.
No, yeah. No,
that's how
but the guy who
plays
the Penguin now, the guy who plays the Penguin now, he did a amazing job. And the guy who plays the Riddler,
whoa. I heard that was actually really impressive because everyone has a staple of the Riddler was like because Jim Carrey did the Riddler. I'm like that was.
And then you're thinking about like the old '50s movies. That's not TV shows like the '60s.
Like the Riddler. Like I heard and read some reviews about that. Yeah,
that's all I have to say. Whoa.
Yeah,
like that guy deserves an Oscar.
Really?
Like
wow, I gotta have to watch it now.
Like,
God damn it, Levi, you motherfucker!
Dude,
now I'm gonna have to watch that 3
The guy
hour
who plays the Riddler.
film.
Do you remember like the rom-com movie where it's like the kid's neighbor is like really young. She's like she used to do porn or whatever.
Yeah, The Girl Next Door.
Yeah, and his
I fucking love that movie.
Okay, yes, great movie.
So hot too.
Right?
Good for her.
Right, and you know the really shy guy who had to put on like the mask.
He plays
the Riddler.
Shut the
you
fuck
wouldn't,
up.
Dude.
No
and
fucking
from what
way.
he's played
That's
in the past, and what he did now, like that guy,
I'm definitely gonna have to watch
it's like
that.
Denzel Washington's Training Day, freaking Oscar-winning thing. You know, like what? Wow. Yeah, and that movie. By the way,
that shit.
I loved that movie when I was a kid. I loved that movie.
Wow, that's actually really cool. And
I
was very skeptical about the new Batman, and not because I disregarded the fact that Batman has had many stories. If you go back and look at the comics, there's so many different versions of the Batman and what they did and all that shit. But ultimately, like, you're gonna have multiples. Did I think every other one was good? Yeah, I mean they played their role for their role. I mean everyone had their role, but I was always worried, like, okay, how are they gonna depict him this time? How are they gonna do it this time? I like watching the cartoons, man, because the original voice of Batman was just shit. I mean, I didn't know for the longest time Mark Hamill did the Joker.
Right?
He's the best Joker voice.
People always remember him. People like always remember him from like Star Wars. It's like That guy was
He's the Joker.
collecting money.
Yeah.
As Joker for
So,
cartoons.
Like
Collecting.
Mark Hamill, he'll be like, oh, if he's doing Batman, I'm in it. Like he's like, you don't have to ask me if he's doing the voiceover for a movie or a game or
yes, he
I'm in.
automatically says yes.
I'm in because it's just the best. He's like, it's the best thing ever. I love it. I love it.
Well, he worked with him in the 80s. I mean, the 90s when the Batman animated series came out.
Was it those night? Oh yeah,
it was the 90s. Remember, it was like you come home after school, 3:30, Batman's on. Like,
oh my god, I remember I used to fucking do that so
Fox
much.
Fox Kids, man, was the
Saturday morning cat cartoons.
Ooh, Beast Wars.
Oh shit.
6:30, man. I got up to watch that.
Shit, I used to watch Transformers, like the oh my god, I used to watch a lot of shit when I was growing up. Dude. There's a lot of it's so funny now. Like I think about those days and I'm like, oh, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But like how time passes now, it's so much different.
Yeah.
You know, I truly cherish like what I have and what I'm doing now. But like, there's times where I go, man, I remember when it was so much simpler.
Technology?
When a day felt like fucking a week now.
Well, technology's changed so much. Like,
I mean, I remember when I got my first computer, my dad built it for me, and he was showing me how to.
Expensive.
Yeah, he built the whole thing. He was so adamant about like, you know, not letting me fuck it up, and he's like, hey man, just when you use it, you know, make sure if you're gaming on it, like
you gotta power off this way.
Yeah, he made this whole premise about it, and I remember I got Steam on there, and I started playing Counter-Strike, and I was super addicted right away. And then I played Warcraft 3. Or it was Warcraft the first one, and then I went to Warcraft 3.
Mine was StarCraft.
Oh no, StarCraft was shit. I played StarCraft on.
Who were you? I was Zerg. I was always the Zerg.
I was always if I was gonna pick
the Prague or whatever.
You had the Protoss, you had the
Protoss.
Terran, and you had the Zerg. And my
Zerg.
whole thing was like when I learned to play each character, each race.
Yeah,
that's how I picked it. So like for instance, like if I was gonna play, I'd like Terran. Because I would like to do this, you know, I'd like to do the nuclear silo and do all that stuff, and then do a nuke thing, which is fun. But if I was gonna rush somebody, I'd play Zerg.
That was the thing with Zerg. It's like, man, you just
well, it's like either
multiply
you go,
by like
you
50.
You go either Zerg rush, Protoss carriers, or Terran, either mech. They call it mech warrior or mech something, whatever. But that was usually how you did it. You didn't
Protoss had like the best defensive. Outer,
but like here's the thing though, is that once you got them to a certain point, they were unstoppable. Once you upgrade them to
once you got Zerg though, it's like you just
if you play it right.
Oh yeah.
So like for instance,
my older brother and I used to play it online.
I was balls deep in that shit, dude. I fucking love PC gaming. I still
Diablo
know
3.
I know the percentages to the shield for Warcraft 3 footmen for humans. It's pretty pathetic, but like I know the percentages through the stages, like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Like I know
if there was like ever a quiz on that at a bar, you'd be like, I know that.
Like,
we're getting a free beer tonight, gents.
Well, it's 17% damage rate reduction, and they also have shield, which reduces 35% of arrow strikes or range strikes.
Okay,
so they're really good against Night Elf, because Night Elf don't have any melee infantry or anything. It's all bows and arrows or whatever.
Holy crap!
So I remember my brother and I used to buy cases of Mountain Dew Code Red, and we'd just stay up all night and drink it, and we go back and forth. So he'd play somebody, and I'd play somebody, and he'd play somebody. We'd play online, and the cool thing about playing online back then was like you. Obviously now it's different.
Nobody's getting a phone.
No, you didn't have a. I don't think.
Remember, it's all direct. Like no one, like they go pick up the phone. It's all, like.
It was a different time. It was fun, and
you
only, it was how do I explain it? My brother had a computer in his room. We just played in his room. We just played.
Yeah.
We never just like went in separate rooms to play. It was like an event.
Yeah.
Or
Mom would open up the door and it's just mug.
Yeah, or if we went to a friend's house, we all would sit around and watch our one friend play because it was a cool thing. We didn't all have computers because we're like, no one all had laptops. We were fucking broke. We didn't have shit. Our parents weren't going to give us that kind of shit.
No.
So we would all sit around and watch one person play.
Yeah.
And it was like a really fun event, you know. And I remember that very vividly being, when I was young. And then I got older and everyone had their own shit. And it was like, you did Ethernet and all that stuff. And God, that was such a fun time. I was such a PC nerd, man. I'm to this day, if you ever get me on a Warcraft 3 or a fucking even StarCraft, I like StarCraft 2 when I got really good at it. But that took a lot of dedication and time and breakdown and understanding of
now
where
we're
I wanted
adults
to
and
be.
we have to pay bills.
Truth. There is truth to that, but there also is like, I used to play card games. It's fucking, I was a nerd there too. I to this day, like my roommate now.
We used to play beer pong for
money.
money. Remember?
I used to scrape people for beer pong.
Oh man, remember the tournaments?
Oh my god,
they still have them. They still have them at Andy's, but
I never. Oh, you mean Huey's?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm never gonna call it Andy's. I'm gonna call it Huey's. It's just me.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's gonna be Huey's forever.
I remember how it all started. So I was working for Blondie's, or when it switched over, I was working for Blondie's, and then it was Evelyn's, and it was
Evelyn's Pizzeria.
Yep. And then the owner at Huey's needed help as a manager and stuff, so I signed on. And I was like, man, they were sinking fast. So I was like, I'm gonna do beer pong. It was already at Evelyn's. I was like, I'm gonna do beer pong here. And they're like, oh no, you can't do that. That's Evelyn's thing. I was like, no, it's not.
Watch this.
I was like, no, it's not.
Watch this. Hold my beer, bro.
Yeah, they're like, oh well, they're doing.
Hold my beer.
They're like, oh, they're doing $400. I was like, okay, I'll do $5. So I did $5, and then I remember Jason, the owner, came up to me. He's like, you can't take my beer pong from me. I'll shut you down. And as soon as he said that to me,
you're like, okay.
As soon as he said, I'll shut you down, I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I own this town. And I'm like, okay. As soon as he said that Thursday was coming up, I was like, we're doing a $1,500 night.
Oh my God.
And my buddy Chad was with me at the time, and he was like, there's no way you can do that. I was like, I'll front 500. Wow. I'll front the 500. And then the owners at the time like, oh, we can't do that. And I was like, fuck it, I'll front the 1,000. And we'll just do 500 from the bar, and I'll get paid back later. Wow. So we did a $1,500 night competing against Evelyn's. No one showed up to Evelyn's. They shut down early. And John, the other owner at that bar at Evelyn's, he came down. He's like, Levi, why? Why? And I'm like,
because your boy fucked up, man.
I was like, because Jason, who I still respect. I love Jason.
I do too. He gave you my show. I respect the guy.
I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from John. But I learned a lot from Jason. And him and I still don't.
But he fucked up when he challenged you.
Him and I still like when he did his Davis thing. When he went to Davis and he did his bar up in Davis, I tried to get in. And he's like, no, he still had that hate. I don't care. It didn't bug me. Yeah, we had a tough but I still respect him because he's a bar owner, and I'm going to respect his place. But John was a partner. He's like, no, Levi can come in, and I know, if I saw Jason today and he needed help with something, I would help him. Believe it or not, I have no animosity with that. It's just whose dick is bigger kind of thing, and I hurt his feelings, But when John was like, why? And I was just like, because your boy came up to me and said he owned this town.
He fucked up.
I wanted it. I wanted it so bad.
That's okay though. That's not a bad thing, man.
But people were living off of that. $500. You remember
Listen, I know what
you were
that's like.
owning tables at Hideaway.
I know, man. I miss those days.
You were owning tables, bro.
I was scraping people.
Bro, it was almost like a fixed game for you. You're like, oh, man.
I remember.
I have a cell phone bill coming up here on the 15th. That's a Friday. Oh, thank God it's a Thursday night. Good, easy, $250.
I remember the first time I played there with my buddy Josh.
That's who it was. Yeah, he had that amazing beard.
The first 2 times we played that, first 2 weeks, we were just garbage. We were horrible, right? And I remember after, it was probably after those 2 weeks, I was like, hey, man, listen, here's what we're going to do. He's like, well, I'm like, I'm going to start drinking heavily, and you're going to start playing better. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, just bear with me and listen. So after that, we started just decimating people. It was a point where people from downtown, Huey's, came to play because they knew we were playing. They're like, I got to play against these guys. And I met those two. There was 2 guys that showed up, and they're like, hey, yo, we came here because I heard you guys are running shit. We're like, yeah, we already know. And I'm always friendly. I'm very competitive.
Stepping in my house?
But no, I was I'm very competitive, but I'm like, I like a worthy opponent. And they beat us straight up. And to me, losing is a part of winning. It's a process. You got to trust the process. You're going to get better. And there was times where I scraped them, and we went back and forth. But the best part about it was that these guys would come in and they'd play, and they'd see okay, these guys are actually legit because we'd play really well. We would play very consistent. And Josh was like, there's one point where I was so fucked up. Let's put it this way, I was drinking Jack and Cokes all night. That was my drink, right? So I would drink my Jack and Cokes, and I was outside smoking, just like, yeah, man,
on that
playing
weird
beer pong.
shaped patio that they have.
And someone goes, I like that patio, okay? Anyway, so
awkward.
We're sitting there, and Josh comes out, hey, we're on, let's go. And the problem with winning, so to speak, you have to wait.
Yeah.
Because it's double elimination. So you'd be waiting for like 35 minutes. So you just get shit-faced. I got shit-faced. And Josh was like, hey, we're on. So I go over there and I start playing. And I'm playing I'm dominating. Like I was on fire. I took 4 cups out. I was just rolling. And I remember we're on the last cup. They have 2 cups left, and we have 2 and they have 1. And I remember I was in this like weird like zone where I was like, when I'm in the zone, man, like nothing's gonna get in my way. I'm honed in. Yeah. And I was like this. I was like lining up my shot. I'm like, okay, here we go, right? And I just go like this. I kind of like look at it, and I'm like, oh. Like I'm just like I'm out of it. I'm fucked up. And Josh goes, hey, Derek, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sorry. And I threw it, and it goes right in. And
Shut up.
Josh is like, to this day, Josh just tells the story. He's like, dude, you were so fucked up outside. You were so drunk. But when you're drunk and you're playing that game, something inside you was like, I'm not going to lose. They're not going to beat us.
I just remember like doing all those beer pong things and stuff, and then like Drew and Phil would be there, some other bar people, but you guys were like the 90s Chicago Bulls. Like
you're not going to stop me.
Like people hated playing you guys. They're like, oh fuck. Like you'd walk up to the table, because you guys would never stick with the same name.
Run house, bro.
Oh.
Run house. You're cool. Keep going.
Yeah, you guys would never. Yeah, you guys would never stick with the same name. So it's like you guys would walk up and they're like, "Oh man, like, God, you guys." Like, and you'd have that shit-eating grin, Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm ready, guys. Hey, good game.
I always want to have fun, man.
Yeah,
and
but they would just look at you with hatred, like, fuck, we're losing. Like, let's just take the L now,
No, and here's my thing: is that I always went. It's just a game.
Yeah.
It's just a game.
But you were taking money.
I didn't realize how much money we were taking because.
How much money do you guys think you guys won all together? Like, if you guys took all that
$600, probably $600.
No,
we didn't because the
like
hideaway.
If you added it all up,
the hideaway didn't spend that much. It was what, $5 each to play.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that much. It wasn't like Huey's. Now the only difference was is that I wanted to go play at Huey's. The problem was is that I didn't like how crowded it was. It was like a sweat fest.
Yeah, you got to work what you got.
Yeah, it was a sweat fest, and I was like, I'm not down for this. I'd rather just go play the hideaway and make $60, pay for my bar tab, and go home.
Yeah. There was a guy, Josh and Andrew, I think his name. That's what their names were, Josh and Andrew. Those guys, like you, like they would just win constantly every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Josh was living off of the $500.
Really?
Like he was living good off of $500 a week.
I mean, shit. I used to
practice.
$250.
I mean, if you think about it, there's four Thursdays in a month.
Holy shit.
$250.
I thought about going down there. $250. Me and Josh and I didn't have. It wasn't.
So he was working part time somewhere, and he was getting $250 a week.
Wow.
So
I just didn't want to. My thing was
like,
there's, how there's levels to like being good at something. It's like you have, like, for instance, a good example would be like golf. There are levels to golf, right? You have your fucking 20 handicappers, and you have your no handicappers, and you have your 4 candy. It's like I would like to be an 80s golfer. Why? Because it's fun and I get to have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
But the moment I try to be in the 70s. It's not fun anymore. If I start missing one putts and when I started playing beer pong like that accurately, like I got to the point where I was so accurate.
I could go to Vegas.
My friend Steven and I, we used to play the game he invented, beer pong wise, where you had to make the cups in unison in a row like this.
Shit.
And if you don't get, there's no such thing as balls back. You have to make them in unison, all the way down in unison, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can't. There's no balls back. It's just all pure skill. It has to be aiming, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And him and I would play this, and we would go back and forth. And him and I were very, very consistent with our aiming. We'd do it seriously and take it seriously and compete against each other and be really good. And I remember playing this game with him, and him and I were just like, we were very, because his teammate before that obviously was Tyler. So Steve and Tyler.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was their thing when they played
That's
beer
good.
pong, right? It
Yeah.
was perfect, right? I was like, fuck, man, I wish I had that
Man,
cool.
that's a catchy name.
So when they played, they always play together. Well, after a while, Steven dropped off. He's going to college. He's busy. Tyler and I played.
Yeah.
And Tyler and I got really consistent, really good. And him and I had the same kind of style. He'd like to stand on a certain side of the table because he liked to, we had different. We had very good complementary. Like if he started falling off, I filled in. So as long as we were getting one shot in every round, we were consistent. The moment we started both missing is when we both had to like reassess. Like, hey man, do we need to switch sides? Is it a process we're not doing right?
Yeah.
Like what's going on? We'd have to figure it out on the table. And like my thing was like I was always honed in to the game. Like my thing was like I'm always focused in the game. When I'm on the ball, bro, I'm on the ball. Like you don't have to worry about me. And I remember him and I would just go back and forth, bro. And we would just there was one point where we were slaying people. And I was playing with Josh when we were in the hideaway, and me and Josh were killing it. And Josh, I remember he was like, I don't think I've ever seen someone as drunk as you play that well. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. When I'm focused and I'm fucked up, I'm fucking focused. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I roll, dude.
I used to play beer pong back in the day, and I lost it. We used to call them gentlemen's bets, and I still do them to today. And Justin can vouch for this, and Kyle Niehoff. I lost a beer. It was a gentleman's bet. It's like, hey, if I win, you got to wash my truck. Or
that's a good one.
Something.
That's good.
Right? And so I lost, and the bet was, Levi, if you lose, he's like, you got to dress up as a girl and go downtown and get a shot from each bar. And I was like, I got
done.
This. Got
Sign
this.
me the
like,
fuck up.
I lost.
Sign me up. Let's go.
I lost. So I went to Ross, got like a zebra mini skirt, pink boxers, some flip flops, a blonde wig, a neon green tank top. And then I had April Lopes do my makeup. And she's big now, but at the time, she was just getting started. She goes by Pipsqueak on her Instagram.
Oh, okay.
She has like 115,000 followers.
Holy
right now.
shit.
Yeah, her makeup's amazing, by the way.
Wow.
Her makeup is amazing, right?
Okay.
So I called her up, and I was like, and this is before she was really big. I was like, can you please do my makeup? And she's like, what? And I'm like, look, I lost a bet.
Yeah.
I got to look like a woman. And she's like, can I take pictures? Yeah. Didn't think anything. Yeah, okay. Before and after pictures? Absolutely. Okay. Went over to her little apartment where her husband used to live. Now they have a house, but went over there. She did my makeup, got dressed, went back to house, and I went downtown, dressed up as a female.
Go you, bro.
And
Fucking
got
proud
shots.
of you,
I
man.
got stuck.
I'm fucking proud
Here
of
we
you,
go.
bro.
Ready?
Oh, okay.
Here's a shout out to Sammy, the bartender.
It gets better, ladies and gentlemen.
It does. Sammy the bartender at TJ's right now. If you go to TJ's, Sammy the bartender, she has a video. Her sister was getting married, and it was Huey's at the time. And I was downtown in my women's gear, and Tony, the old owner, was like, you can't leave this bar until you sing It Feels Good to Be a Woman, because he wouldn't serve me a shot. He told the bartenders, you can't serve him until he sings this song. So I did the song. I'm like, okay, I got to do the shot and get the hell out of here. And then he's like, wait, it's someone's bachelorette party. So Sammy's sister was having a bachelorette party, and I had to give her a freaking lap dance.
Oh,
and
my God.
Sammy, the bartender
Levi,
who works at
this is amazing.
The bartender who works at
amazing.
TJ's, she still sends it to me on my Facebook as a reminder because it pops up on her like memories. She recorded it.
Oh, fuck
She
me.
recorded it. And she couldn't put two to two together until one year I was like, yeah, I dressed up as a woman one time downtown. And she went, wait. And she goes,
oh, no.
was this you? And I was like,
Forever going to be you, bro.
it's forever in there.
ever.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys, want to go have a beer and look at a video of a hefty guy in a blonde wig giving a lap dance back in the day, go see Sammy at TJ's. She will be more than proud.
That's awesome, though.
Oh, I had my
dude,
buddy
that
Chad.
experience
I had
is
my buddy
amazing.
Chad.
That's an amazing
he was-
experience. That is a experience that you're always going to have. And I know people are like, oh, this is
Oh,
crazy.
I'd still do it. I'd still do it today.
It's hilarious.
I'd still do it today. I have no
Fucking
shame.
love it.
I don't
Fuck
care.
it.
I don't care.
Fuck people who don't
know
like
who
it.
I am. Like, I don't care, man. It's like I'm very comfortable with who I am. Like,
Right.
I love my woman. I'm like, I'm not gay, right? Like, I have a gay brother, but I'm not gay. But It doesn't bug
It's
me.
okay.
It doesn't bug me, man. I'm comfortable.
Who gives a fuck,
Yeah,
man?
I'm comfortable with my.
Man,
Yeah.
you had a good time. You had
I had a blast. I got
and you had a
drunk
great
as
story.
hell.
And you had a great story.
Yeah, I got drunk as hell.
And you were in a dress. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
a zebra dress, neon green. Still on my Facebook. Yeah. No, it gets worse. It gets worse. So, 2 weeks down the road, I played Justin in a beer pong game. He wants to do a gentleman's bet. I'm like, I'm not losing.
No more gentleman bet, guys.
Dude, I know. So I'm like, I'm not losing this gentleman's bet. He's like, you know what, Levi? He's like, I was like, if you lose, he's a 49er fan. I was like, if you lose, you got to dress up in a Cowboys jersey, blah, 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 or dress up as a woman. He's like, deal. I'm like, perfect, done. You know, I was like, I'm not going to lose this one. He's like, Levi, if you lose, we're going to have to go to San Francisco because it's Pride Week. And you're going to have to take a picture with 2 dicks by your face and make it a profile picture.
Holy shit.
And I said, what? You know, he's like, make it your profile picture on Facebook. I was like, okay, deal. I was like, deal. God. Right? I was like, deal. That's
back before you can get in trouble for that, right? Or no, you still can.
You still can. I lost.
Oh, my God, Levi, you fucking
I lost. And the sad thing is, bro, if you go to my Facebook, I'm not joking. If you go to my Facebook, right? Oh my God. And you go to my pictures here.
Oh my God.
Like photos, right? And then you go to albums, and it loads up your your cover photos, right? It's not cover photos. It's
there's
profile
a point when you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, that you have to stop taking bets.
Gentlemen's bets, yeah.
Stop taking gentleman bets, Levi. So there's a rule for this.
Right there. Made it. It's still on Facebook today in my profile album.
I fucking love it, man.
So I lost against Justin, my roommate.
Love it. Look at
Kyle
you.
Niehoff was with me, a couple other roommates. God. But yeah, I took. I went to San Francisco Pride Parade. Fucking saw 2 guys walking. I was like, fuck it. I walked up to him and I was.
You're a team player, bro.
Yeah, like, I walked right up to him. I was like, look, guys, I lost a bet. And I was like, I gotta have 2 dicks by my face. And they're like, okay. Like, they had no problem, you know?
You're like, all right.
Yeah, and Justin took the picture, and Justin took forever taking that picture.
Because he wanted you to experience.
Yeah, he wanted me to experience
every second of that shit.
And then I made it my profile picture. And as soon as I made it my profile picture, my mom calls me. And she goes, Levi? Yeah, hello? It's your mother. Yeah, hi, Mom. Do you want to tell me something? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Right? I had Jesus Christ. I didn't know my mom was like on a Facebook friend, like she was checking that crap. You know, you don't want to tell me anything? No? Are you sure? No. Yeah. Well, I was like, wait, hang on, and I look. I'm like, she does have Facebook. I'm like, are you talking about that Facebook profile picture? She's like, yeah. I'm like, Mom, I lost a bet. And she's like, I lost a bet. And then, like, my dad's in the background, you know, probably like, oh, God, what an idiot. But my mom's like, well, you probably should stop betting. I'm like, yeah, after this, I'm done.
No fucking shit.
Yeah, so that was.
Oh, my God, dude.
I'll still take a gentleman's bet. I don't care what it is. I'll do it.
That's fucking awesome,
yeah.
Not many people in the world who'll do shit like that. Let's put it that way.
Dude, you just can't make it too extreme, you know? It's like, you know, you're not hurting, you're not doing bodily harm, you know, you're not doing anything, you know, sexually wise. I mean, yeah, 2 dicks by your mouth, but you know, I mean, as long as it's lighthearted, fun, and you're around a good group of people, right? You can keep it going.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, that's a hell of a story, man.
Dude, it was.
The fact that you pulled that shit off is actually rather impressive. Like it was
insane.
You made it happen.
You can. I think I'm on it's on Cheers Facebook, back in their pictures. Dude. TJ's like back in the pictures, but
there was a point.
I still curse the bartender that works at TJ's who has that video. Like, God damn it.
There was a point where our house made the chive in Davis because we went and we stole a lot of road signs. We had a road sign party and it made the chive. Like, we woke up the next day and our roommate Time Topher, he was like, or the guy who ran the house, you know,
Chris Topher.
Christopher Topher.
Yeah,
his name's Robert, but he goes by Topher.
Yeah,
he goes. He's like, he comes out and we're like all fucking hungover as shit. We partied hard the whole night. Some guy brought over these fucking crazy ass fire twirling shit, and We got fucked. It was good.
Yeah.
Woke up the next morning. People are passed out on the table outside. This guy's passed out in the fucking beer cooler. It's like a mess. It's like a can't hardly wait scene. And Topher comes out. He's like, bro, we made the chive. And I go, what are you talking about? He's like, I came out here and took a picture and posted it. And they posted our shit on the chive. And I was like,
no.
You mean
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, their fucking page is our backyard right
Yeah.
now. And he pulls it up. I'm like, holy shit. That's the fucking backyard.
Oh,
and I think I still have
dude,
the
if
photo.
you want to get on internet stories,
I could show you.
I'll tell a story after this. There's a forewarning. Danny, if you're going to watch this video, don't have your wife listen in after this. Matt Nicoletti.
You don't have to tell if you don't want to, man.
Oh, I'm going to tell it.
Okay.
There's no shame in this story, but it's a good one. Matt Nicoletti, if you're watching, please have your children and wife go away.
I like how you're giving her
Jake Armour, Joey Armour, Torsten Armour, you name it. Aaron Ray, his niece actually works at Fuzo's. So Aaron Ray, if you're gonna watch this,
oh God,
heavens forbid, I'm
the
sorry.
fact that you're giving disclaimers and worries.
Oh, dude.
Bit.
So while you're looking this up, we threw me, Danny, Matt Nicoletti, we threw an end of the world party back in the day, and this is before Instagram and all that. I think MySpace was still popular. Okay. And we threw an end of the world party, and we threw some epic parties, but this was like our epic. We got a drum, an oil drum barrel, and we drilled holes in it, and we went to the thrift store and got old sheets, bought these sheets, and we put paint all over them and hung them up on the fence and the walls and put black lights and stuff like that. And the only way you could get in this party was you had to be dressed up like it's going to be the end of the world.
Okay.
Have body paint on, some type of ripped clothing, right? And the party got out of hand where people just started showing up. Like, we had no idea who they were. They know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, it got huge. And I felt, we lived in a cul-de-sac, so the cars just start piling. I felt so sorry for our neighbors. But we girls would come in like, oh, well, we know that. I'm like, well, we're the owners of the house. Like, so? They're like, well, you can't come in unless you got body paint on, rip a shirt, blah, blah, blah. They would do it, no questions asked. And I just remember waking up in the morning, and Matt Nicoletti's room was down the hall, and we're all sitting on the couch, me and Danny. And I hear Matt go, oh, I had such a great night. Yeah, me too. Kiss. She'd walk out. 15 minutes later. Oh, I had such a great night. Oh, yeah, me too. Kiss. I'm like, no way. No way. The guy had yeah. Hour later, another girl comes out.
Oh, Jesus
and I'm like,
Christ.
oh, my God. So if you look up, this was at our interworld party. If you look up two girls making out on a keg backyard, that was our house in Trinity Court, Vacaville by Fairmont Elementary.
Let's find out here.
Images.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Boom.
That's
it right there.
That's the one, huh?
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
We had a party.
That's the girls, huh?
Yeah, we had a party.
Next to, look at this guy. This is great. I'll show people can see what we're looking at here. That's the party? That's the thing, huh?
Yeah. We had a party.
All right. Look at that. Look at these guys go.
Like, and then, dude, poor Danny, man. He was a single guy at the time. He used to bring girls over back in the day.
That's the, oh, wow. I've seen that.
It's insane, right? Like, who would have thought? That came from a digital camera. That had been uploaded from an SD card. But Danny was single back in the day. And so I felt so bad for him. So when he was single, he just bring up, some random girls.
Right.
And when me and my friend Eric and Matt Nicoletti, we used to have these wigs. I don't know what's up with me and wigs, but we had a Dorothy wig and all this crap. And Danny would, have some fun in the room, and he would never let them stay the night. Mm-hmm. So we knew that. And we'd hear Danny go at it. It's four other guys in the house, thin walls.
Sure.
He'd end, and we're like, oh, he's done. Okay. We'd all sit on the couch. There's only one way in and one way out. You have to pass us through the living room to go out the front door. There's no way. So we'd all be on the couch, butt naked, wearing wigs. Wearing wigs. Like, I'd be wearing a Dorothy wig, sitting in a lazy boy, two other roommates naked on the couch, watching Robin Big, and she come out and like, hey, what were you doing in there? And, seeing 3 grown naked men, what were you doing in there? And Danny was like, oh my God. It got to a point where Danny was like, got with a girl and he was like, look, I got 3 roommates out there. And she's like, yeah, no problem. And he's like, no. They're naked. And it probably sounded horrible. He's like, they're naked and waiting for you. And she's like, what? And he's like, not like that. They're just going to, they're going to ask you 21 questions.
They're not going to fuck you. It's just going to fuck you.
Yeah. They're going to ask you 21 questions. It's going to be the most embarrassing thing in your life. And she's like, okay. He's like, so you got 2 options. You can go out the front door and, get bombarded by 3 grown men on a couch asking you questions, or you can go out my window. That woman chose the window.
Shut the fuck up.
I heard it.
Oh my God.
We heard it we heard it.
Wow.
And
window,
I heard a car. I was like, she went out the window.
Oh my God.
Buddy Matt, it's like, no way. I'm like, she went out the window.
That's how much
we left.
Influence.
She was driving out, and Danny's like, oh my God, like 3 grown men running outside in Dorothy wigs, chasing after a woman naked. Danny, poor guy, he's only like 18 years old, man. We're all in our 20s, 21. And he's just like, oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
But, dude, we used to have parties. Girls used to dance on our coffee table with a boa constrictor, and we forgot to feed it for a month. And it started getting hungry and started restricting around the girl's neck. Like, no shit. Like, where we started looking like,
that snake looks do like, something, yeah.
No, it's like, oh, man, that snake, does it look like it's coiling around the neck a little bit? Oh, shit. Like, we forgot to feed it this month.
Shit.
It was like 8 feet long. What horrible. Great house, though, to party.
You guys sound like you guys had a ball.
Oh, dude.
Sounds like a ball.
We had a blast. Blast.
I'm telling you right now, man, it sounds like it. And
I can't do that now. There's no way. I'd get a
word.
It happened
growing
now.
Up now, man. Yeah, shit happens, man.
We shaved a girl's head. We didn't know who she was.
Jesus Christ.
We didn't know who she was. She passed out at a party.
Oh my God, dude.
She passed out at our party. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and she was the only one there. And we're like, "Who is this?" We asked all our roommates. No one. I didn't give a shit. Clippers. Oh the only one with sense is Danny. He's like, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't be a part of this." It's okay, Danny. Go in your room. It's okay.
Oh my God.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And then Danny, you hear that?
I just don't fuck with that. That's too much for me. But dude, hey, man, that's fuck it. Some people make crazy ass decisions,
dude. God.
Well, listen, man. Regardless of your epic escapades that you guys experience, man, I do want to say, man, it's such a good time to sit down and talk to you.
Oh, same here, man. I enjoyed this.
I genuinely had a really good time with you.
Same here.
I really appreciate and the experiences that you share with me, dude. I'm genuinely appreciate that, man. Like I've never in my life had that. I never honestly thought that of you. For you to share that with me, I think that's pretty cool, man.
Thanks, man.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, man. Thank you for being on the show. On the podcast, man. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Derek and Friends podcast, man. This is Levi Crossley. Hang out with us, having some beers. Dude, you got to come back on the podcast.
Oh, dude. Absolutely.
I loved it. I had a great time talking to you.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Show me your love. Send me some comments. Tell me some topics. I mean, I know this guy over here is already thinking about 17 in his head right now because that's how he rolls.
Yeah.
When he's shaving girls' heads and fucking...
dude. Yeah. Giving lap dances at a cross-dresser. I didn't make any money that night. Like, man.
Nobody did. But hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Peace out, guys.
See ya.